Chapter 40, motion camouflage. Don't forget Mike. What this is about is, if you watch Dragonfly, it flies, what does it? It leaps, and you can't see where it goes to. Now what you need to do is get that in your combat. Now this is a bit of a weird concept, but it takes a lot of years, but you should practice it slow until it goes ingrained in your system. So what we're doing is, the eyes, so just relax, stand still. The eyes, when they look, they cross over, and then they see me in an inverted image. But there's a still point here where it crosses, where once it gets past that, it still has the other image in its mind. So what you would do is, if you're starting a fight, you would literally hold your hips to one side, put your head back where it was, and move slightly forward. But it gives him a false target of where you are. So when Mike takes a punch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my body slightly and move my head out of the way. And what I do is I wait till he gets to this point. So as you go, Mike. There. He, in his vision, he still imagines me there. But in reality, what I do is I manipulate this and shift to the other side. And when he comes into the yaw, he'll realise I'm not there. And for some reason, it looks like I've darted. And when you perfect this, it looks like people just generally dart out of the way for no reason. So step back. There. And Nick, can I have you as well? Show different angles. So from here. Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for him to hit at this point. So go. There. And I wait for him to get past it. And he doesn't realise where it's gone. And then again. Here. If you notice, you wait right to the last point. There. And what I'll find is, he doesn't realise I've come inside the space, but this is a dangerous space for me to be in for him. If I've got a knife or anything, he's literally gone. So that way, so what you do is you work on your motion camouflage and perfect it to such a high level that it creates a jump motion when they go through it. Chapter 41, now this is free energy. Now what we get by free energy, Mike? Free energy is actually, stand forward if you need. What I mean by free energy is energy that I don't use a muscle to put strength into. So what you simply do with this type of thing, if you bend, your knee automatically pushes out some energy, just free. The physical wave goes that way out. So you're literally this. That is what I talk about free energy. I'm using the natural gravity to create a motion. Now this motion is simply resulting in me relaxing, so it'll create windows. This same thing, this free energy comes from that relaxing. So the grab, that's like a wave effect. And this free energy simply is just a drop and a movement. It all comes from walking. So as this comes, I just simply walk and move. And then I use the energy around me. It's just free to manipulate him. I'm not going to, because Mike's a big lad, I could use strength all day to pull him down, but it's not going to work. So what I do is I use free energy inside of my body itself. So if Mike grabs, just grab, yeah, it's like I can try and break out, so grab as hard as you can, Mike, I break out, yeah, like this, or I can just use the free energy I get from just simply dynamically moving my body in that sense. Okay? Again, I use this free energy from this type of thing to punch in this way. Come here. So, free again, go to punch. Free. This slaps, it comes from these points. Yeah, this free energy, you can feel it comes through in that way. Okay, a couple more. So I've got a punch. Yeah, all that is, I'm simply grabbing his wrist. Well, when I say grab, what I mean is I'm placing my hand on his wrist, and I'm using this energy to just throw like that. So go for it again, Mike. Yeah. And his natural ability is just to roll out with it. If you can't roll, just fall on your face. So again, use this natural free energy that comes with it all. Chapter 42, creation of space. Okay, we always think that we've not got enough space, but even molecule to molecule, we have enough space. So you come in, Mike. So somebody gives you a bear hug from behind. You're a big, strong lad, yeah? And I've got no space, none whatsoever. But I can simply create it. What I do is I lean forward. So where already his balance is starting. Then what I do is I manipulate from the spine, start to manipulate just my arms. Already, I can fit my hand through here. Okay, already I can start to move. I can find space. So then if I manipulate even more, I can create all this space in this end, in that way. So it's dead easy to create space. From here, you think, you got that? He's got me. What I do is I simply create the space. Now look at the space I've got here to work with. I've got everything. That was substantial to insubstantial, by the way, when I shifted that out and he dropped. So, and I can create the space from nothing. So in here, I just move. And the space, I can find enough of it. Kev. So, grab me around the neck. Yeah, from here, he's obviously joking me. What I do is I create some space. What I'll do is I'll place, I'm not actually touching, I should be touching here, just his pelvic bone. And you'll find that he'll want to move away from that. I'm not striking it, I'm just holding it. But that holding creates space. He's lifting and giving me all this movement and space. So again, from the bear hug, like, I've got it here, you can crush me as much as I want. Use your breath. Now you'll see, there's all this space here. Now I can start to manipulate that, which gives me this space, which is enough to go on. And it will roll out like that. So what you got to do is wherever you are and you think you're crushed up, go internal, move your spine and shift like a fish until the creation of space, and you'll find gaps and you can go into the negative space and shift them over and move. So just work around the body with that. Okay, with effortless throw, what you've got to realise is, in reality, in street reality, you're taking them off the point, and martial artists can usually roll, so their body switches onto a roll. But the average person in the street just doesn't. He will literally land on his face, so take it really slow. The average person will get to this point, and they'll go, and they'll just move. That's what happens. That's what throws are invented for. Throws now in Aikido, and this I think are very beautiful. But what they were originally designed for is to smash someone's joints onto the ground. So you get someone run over with a sword, a knife, no matter whatever, you just come in here, and the idea is to smash onto their head. And you need to hit people's head on the ground, because when that happens, you're going to kill them, concuss them, things like that. So that's what throws are designed for. But remember, in martial arts, you've got to give them extra. It does look nice. It's not that they're going with it, it's because they're trained to roll. And when you roll, you give them that extra bit. So remember, in reality, it's head to the floor, try and snap necks, try and snap shoulders. You don't want nice, perfect rolls coming out of it. However, it's very good and entertaining. The classic throw, what everybody thinks it is this. You get somebody grab you, yeah, put your hip into their hip, you come round and you throw. Yeah, that is the classic throw. Very fundamental, very basic as a throw. But what we do have is what is the effortless throw. It's not a throw at all, it's completely different. We call it a throw, but it isn't. In reality, what happens is they come in like a bicycle, I put a spoke in the wheel, I connect with them, move them off direction, move them to fall. As they start to fall, they'll naturally curl into a roll. As they naturally curl into a roll, you put some extra oomph and spin them. So let's go through it slow. So first of all, you get a connection, okay? I'm connecting here. What I do then, I take him off balance, push him into a second direction, and you see he has to fall. It's this fall here that I turn into a roll, okay? Now what happens is, so now we've connected, we move, and we throw into a roll. So it comes in, connect, move, yeah, and that's the basics of it. But then, what happens is you turn it into a throw. Yeah, and it comes in, yeah, that way. Michael, as quick as you can. Yeah. Yeah. Kev, so come on, mate. Yeah. Yeah. This way. Yeah. Okay. Good. Right. Next. You've just got to find that connection inside that throw. You see what's actually happening is he's not throwing. He's literally. Go on. What's happening is he comes up. We're stopping. We're moving. He's falling. Then at the last minute, I give that twist. So this one into here. Drop. There. We find. So literally all they're doing. He's the bicycle. We're just focusing the wheel, taking that, and throwing it again. So they're coming on as an onslaught. You can intercept this. As they come forward, you let them come forward, and the throw goes. Yeah, this way. So we're from here, got to come out, and then there. So people come in, and they sort of bang, and this balance point, that there, is what we've got to look at, yeah? Then I'll let them down, curl out, yeah? And when it goes full throw, they'll go through it with it, for example. So they're coming in, you're like, boom, boom. There we go, next one. So, this throw, when you're coming at you, boom, yeah, you'll find that comes in this way. Mike, he grabs here, yeah, boom, take him to the balance. Yep. Boom, balance up, over, now. So, boom, that throw from there. Yeah, that's the effortless throw in there. It is really, to really achieve the effortless throw properly, you have to have the momentum, you have to be able to control it through and really allow them to go through. It's quite difficult to do in training because they don't give you the reality of attack. But come in, Mike, if you just, say for example you get someone running at you, for example, and they're not coming in. There we go. If they just run at you, like somebody's trying to attack you in the street, it's like, yeah, in that way. Right, they've got knives and go ahead, yeah, okay. There we go. That's the effortless throw, because it's not a throw, it's a fall with redirection. It takes a lot to master, it's quite complicated, and hopefully I'll do it by the end of my lifetime. But what you've got to do is try and forget that it's not a hip throw and it's not a throw. But for example, you get like off balance, there. That, everybody disbelieves that throw. But in reality, what happens is, off balance, I go into negative space, I keep him off balance, there, and then I twist. It's all like, you're getting this, there, because you cannot go any other way but that or break his arm. So have a go with it, but remember, be careful and enjoy that one. Chapter 44, the invisible rope. What this is to show you how energy can influence people when you're actually in a combat scenario and they're on edge. So if you have Kev, well first of all I'm going to show you how a rope is realistically used. So many people try and tie knots and all this sort of stuff, but if you just grab Kev, so we have a rope, you just grab, yeah, his first movement is to grab, or to just simply get anything. And what's your next movement? Do your next movement. Yep, boom. That's so as he moves, and just keep moving. Yep. As you move. Yep, and move again. Yep. Now what happens here is his movement, you don't try and knot anybody up. You wait for his movement. Once he's moved, and you've moved your rope just over him a few times, you can come in and grip any rope. And this is when you should start tying people up. So this is when now you can start with this type of thing. And the foot's coming around here, boom. This is how you start to tie people up with rope. Many people automatically try and give it this and tie people up. That's not how it works. So, Throw a punch, Kev. Throw a punch. Yep. 1, over, 2, over. You can even let the rope go. 3, and then just wait for it in this way. The rope will naturally start to swing, and you don't concentrate on the rope. So do your next move, Kev. Yep. This way. Boom. And we've got it. Your next move. Yep. This way. You'll find it can just move and move and move, and then eventually you'll get to a point where you know the rope will lock in. He doesn't have to lock straight away. All you have to do is avoid his punches and let the rope get entangled himself. So, if you come up, Kev. The reality of this is you've got an invisible rope. Just imagine, so you can fall. You just put it around his neck. Yeah. Your next move. Yeah. You see, you pull that energy in. It creases his body down. Round we go. Yeah. He doesn't want that. So it's nothing to do with the fact that there's an invisible rope. It's to do with that you can affect their body with pieces like, see, he doesn't like that. And that I'm going to get hit reaction with this is where you pretend you've got a rope, but in reality what you're doing is you're scaring his body into reaction, which opens windows for you. And this is where you can start manipulating and playing. So you only need one element where it's like, rope comes over. Yeah, there, straight there. So you've got his here, boom, yeah, you'll probably snap through the neck. Just one headbutt to a neck that's extended like that. Right here, right, possibly disconnect his occiput, things like that. Okay, one more time, Kev. Yeah, yes, we go. Yeah, that's it, boom. But that energy for someone who doesn't know who you are, doesn't know that you're training, will come in and they will be like, I don't understand what's going on. Once you've got that I don't understand, you have a window you can attack.
Chapter 45, No Mind or Zero Mind. Now this is in the martial arts quite a lot and it's really misunderstood by a lot of people. What this means to work in the no mind or to submerge yourself in no mind, it simply means react on a subconscious level. We do it every day. Everybody works in no mind every day. When you're driving your car home and you're thinking to yourself about life and general things, you don't actively look for the junctions. You don't actively change gear. Everything is done on a subconscious level until you get to the point where you think, oh, how did I get home? Or when you're shopping, you're just shopping along and you're putting things in your trolley, the normal things that you buy. That is actually a trance state. And trance state is a form of no mind. So when you're in this no mind, you're doing things and reacting to the outside world with no effort, there's no thought process, which means there's no time process. So what martial artists mean is they want to study and they want to react in no mind, in a trance-like state when they're getting attacked. It's easily done when you're in a training session, but the reality comes like when somebody attacks you, you go to a logic mind because you're trying to think quick. What you've got to do is drop the logic mind and train your body to react on a normal level from a subconscious mind. The same as you do when you're driving, when you're shopping, when you're just thinking. You want that reaction to any external movement without having to go into the logic side, which is much easier in sound than it is in practice. So many martial artists spend years and years trying to put themselves in a subconscious mind and training so it just reacts in a trance-like state, and then you remember afterwards what happened. The only thing that happens is after you'll remember, oh yeah, I did that, or that came in. If you're remembering beforehand, if you're thinking beforehand and logging this, you're in a logic mind. So usually when you get into a fight, gone, they're finished, and you think, that's what happened, and that happened. Same as whenever you have an accident in a car, you just react, and then later you remember what happens. So what you need to do in your training is move towards that, and then be happy when them little reactions happen, and you grab something because it drops off, or you move out of the way, and then you remember afterwards. Please recognise that as no mind and get it into your training. Chapter 46, the test. Now this was a bit of a sticky issue for me. Now the test actually started in origin in Japan. What this means is you kneel down, put a blindfold on, or you close your eyes, and somebody stands behind you with a sword. Now they raise that sword, you can't see them, and you don't know when the sword is going to come. But you kneel down and they will wait. And what they have to do is they have to try and hit you in their own time on the back of the head with a sword. and you have to pick this up with a sensory awareness and roll out of the way. Lots of people think this is magic and, oh, you know, it's a bit extra out there. But what it is a collection of all your senses together, building to such a high level that you can feel something is coming. And what happens in the test is you don't have to think about it logically. It comes from your subconscious. You just sit there, and if you're ready and somebody comes down with a sword, you will move. If you're not ready, you won't. There's no logic to this. You will either do it or you won't. If you don't do it, it means you're not ready yet. However, I've shown not to show the test on this DVD because there's a lot of political problems with this in Japanese martial arts. A lot of people think there's only one man can do it, and he's in Japan in Noda, and a lot of people think anybody can do it. So to keep away from all that, I've not included it in the DVD, but if you go on YouTube and just type in Saki test, 5th Dan test, or Godan test, you'll see them. There's lots to see. Now what you must remember about this is, in my opinion, anybody can give this test, because it could be anybody who's attacking you on the streets. What happens is, it's that feeling where you think somebody's looking at me, you think, oh, somebody's looking at me, or just before somebody taps you on the shoulder, you go, oh, you okay? That's the feeling you get. Now, this is not connected to the martial arts as much as people think. It's connected to with awareness. If you lived in a forest all your life, and you had a cottage in a forest, you would pass the test every time, because you're so aware of the surroundings. If you lived in a violent country where death is a high rate, then you would be aware of this test because you're constantly aware. What happens is when you train in martial arts and you train and train and train, your awareness builds and builds and builds. That's why it's become a martial arts test. And when people train, they can usually pass it. But you don't have to train martial arts just to pass it. You sit blindfolded at night in the woods for hours and have people walk around you, have people try to approach you. You will build this awareness up. So what you've got to do is try and just build your awareness. Be blindfolded a lot. Try and touch things without noticing and using your eyes and all that type of thing, and you'll find that it builds and builds until one day somebody comes at you from behind and move. Or you'll find that in the street people go to touch you on the back, and when they're a metre away you go, you okay? And that is the reality of the test.
Chapter 47. Now this is very important. This is one thing that I didn't learn for years on the time. Come here, is to actually move when you are told. What always used to happen with my instructor is I used to try and do things, lock him, and nothing was happening. And every time I tried to put locks on, it wasn't working. What I realised is you have to move when you are told, which means you wait for them to move. If they're tense and all stationary and like, just wait. It's not a fight anymore, is it? You just sat there with your arm out, yeah? So what you have to do is you have to wait for them to move. So they're tense as hell, yeah? And they're really gripping you like some big ape. And what you do is you just wait. And when he starts to move, that's when I move. And the second he moves, yeah, is when I move. So, yeah, like, yeah, bang. It's not the grab you've got to get out of. So many people, they go, yeah, look at this, and they go, argh. That's not the way, just wait. Because he wants to headbutt you, kick you, pull you, whatever. Yeah, that's enough there. Because that punch can't come now, yeah? Too weak. So I'm waiting for that. So what you do is you wait to be given a movement. The contact, give a movement. There, yeah? This is the movement of given. So from a grab, yeah, you... There we go. Yeah, it's that movement. This is fundamental to actually getting your martial arts really good. Because if you've got someone in the bear hug, wait, they can't hold you forever. Yeah, that's the movement that comes that way. It's that movement that initiates your response to their body. If they're just stuck and you're trying to do something and somebody's tense up and holding like this, it's rubbish. You get so many people trained and you try and sort of like, I don't know, they grab you and they just grip like that and they just stand there. And then I see so many students going, I can't get out of it. The idea is not to get out, just wait. And when he goes to throw that punch, that's when the movement will end. And you must only move when you're told to move.
Chapter 48, don't hang yourself. Now what I mean by this is my instructor used to say to me, he says, I will give you the rope You choose whether to climb it or whether to hang yourself. Now what this means is he's passing on a lot of skills to me and a lot of power and a lot of ability. Now the problem with that is, especially in the modern society, is when you give people ability and you give them power over others, they will take on an egotistical outlook. Now this is rife in the martial arts at the moment. It's just simply rife with egotism. People are like, my martial arts is better than yours, I can do this, I can do that. And martial artists are no longer respected and they're more cocky. And they get cocky and they go out like to fight and they go out like to hit people. Now this, if you're at that stage and you're a martial artist and you're watching this, then you've already hung yourself and you're literally hanging from an old oak tree by a rope. What you've got to do is constantly self-check and be self-aware. Every time you get stronger, every time you get more ability and the ability to be able to defeat people easier, realise you must rein yourself in, and fighting is not the only way. You must brush and polish all the other skills you have until you're an all-round human being. Usually when martial artists go down the correct path, they're not these cocky people, they don't do cage fighting and street fighting. They usually go down the more peaceful avenue because they want to get on with their life. So what you've got to realise is, stop looking outwards and look more internal. Look in the mirror and think, am I a nasty person? Has this martial arts made me a thug? Am I a brute? Or am I a self-respected person that other people respect, that will have the decency to help people and be able to defend those who are in trouble? So I'll leave you with, always have a self-check. Never just get taken down with the commercialism and the marketing and going down the fighting this and fighting that. So what you want to do is get to be a person where anybody who attacks you, you can automatically destroy, kill if you have to, break, no matter what. However, you can choose what to do at that time and choose to do the correct thing. And then at the same time, you can help an old woman cross the road. You can help somebody with their homework. You're an all-round human being. That not only can you snap limbs and you know how to break necks, but you also know how to create something, build something and help people. So go out in the world and use your newfound knowledge, your newfound ability, not just to be egotistical and to look at who I am, but just to be generally a nice person.
Number 49. Now this is absolutely fundamental to the way we do our style. Now what it is you'll find that it's how to train. So many people train the wrong way. First, training is not fighting. Training is not combat, okay? It never will be and it never is. You train your body, subconscious, to react to somebody else's violence, okay? So anybody who's training fast and hard and trying to smash things, and it's basically just a brawl. So what you have to do is train as slow as possible and learn and understand the body as possible with your partner helping you so you can react with a correct response time. Okay, so what we don't do is we don't sort of like grab that and move in this stance. The best way to train, the absolute best, but you have to get rid of your ego to be able to do this, is when they do. So you go to the move, Kev, is train really slow and understand how the body responds to things in this sense. So training is much better like this. And if you do it this slow, everything's there, the reality of it's still there, but it will really go into your subconscious. But there's two things you have to be wary of. The first one is a partner who won't let anything go on. Like, you're trying to lock, and you'll lock out. Yeah, just tense up, you'll really lock out, and it won't go on. Now, you're all the time thinking, oh, I can't do it, and it's not working. But what the reality is, you wouldn't do that in a fight. You would not do it. You'd wait, you'd strike, kick, until the lock would go on. So what you need to do in training, if you're Mike, or you're Kev, or you're Nick, what you need to do is not let it on, and don't let it on, but let me manipulate his body. So we manipulate the body, so I can learn how it works. In a combat situation, I might get to there and it's not the right move, so I change and fight somewhere else. Okay, Kev? So what you've got to do as a partner is, I'll give you something, you give me not a proper response, but you allow your body to move with it. So, for example, go to thinking, I'm going to do, he knows the reality of that, and I don't want to start smashing him in the throat, because he knows that is going to hurt, so he gives a bit from here, I'll move it in, He's not doing that for me, but he's allowing me to manipulate him without tensing out. Because we know this is training, and in reality, when it's street fight, it will manipulate because they are moving. But in training, so often people just tense up and don't want it. But in a fight, nobody stands there like this. Yeah, they don't do it. So don't do it when you're training. Don't try and outdo your partner by stopping him from learning. Training is learning only. Combat is an instant reaction from your subconscious. You can only put that reaction into your subconscious if you train slow. So go to punch. Yeah, this. Find where his balance points are. Find where he goes. Find the natural reactions. Have a go. Yeah, and the next punch. Oof, yeah. Work. From here, it's okay to stop and realise that's how it goes. So it's okay. So in your training, don't think it's not working just because it's slow and nice and relaxed. As long as they don't give you too much, and as long as they don't take too much away from you, and you just learn to manipulate their body, when it comes to reality, it'll work. And they'll go down quicker than you realise. And it goes in here without you realising.
Chapter 50, Death and the Ability. Quite a serious one this, and it's the last chapter. What we don't realise is that we live in a first world country. You watching this DVD and me producing it literally means we live in quite a rich society where political correctness, a good system of government, this type of thing, where we're not under constant threat every day. Now the problem is martial arts were actually established when you were under threat every day, and not everybody can be an amazing martial artist. A lot of martial artists train for years and years and years to do self-defense, and self-defense is good and everybody should learn self-defense. But martial arts were not developed for self-defense, they were developed for war, and they were developed to kill. So you get a lot of people, when they train for years and years, a big thug comes over with no training, poof, out in one light, go down, and they don't believe martial arts works. That's because, in all honesty, some people can fight better than others. Some people have a natural ability to just want to be able to kill other people, to defeat other people, or to fight. Now them people, nowadays, have stopped training martial arts because they don't need to. They're big, they're strong, a lot of the cage fighters and all this just poof, knock people out until they go down. Martial arts was developed when people took swords, they took knives, and they put them through your throat, you died. There was no two ways about it. It wasn't, oh, he's broke a tooth or he snapped his finger. People will literally have their bellies cut open and splayed across. And in reality, that's what martial arts is. People think it's all peace and nice, and it does, and it makes your mind more concentrated, but in reality, it's about killing another human being. And I don't train in the sort of cage fighting way. I don't want to kill another human being, however, I want to carry them skills on to other people. Now you've got to remember, in traditional society, martial arts was about war and about death and about protecting your family. And you didn't protect them by saying, oh, you know, right, we'll go to court or we'll do this. You protected them by chopping the other man's head off, and it was death till the end. That doesn't exist anymore, but what we've got to realise is then people still exist. Even though our society has changed, the people are still there. So if you're not one of these natural fighters, don't give up hope. Keep training and training and training, because it's martial arts that helps the small man defeat the big man. Now, when you put in a cage and you put in like all these pads on, it doesn't work anymore because the little man will get beat every time because it's strength on strength combat. In reality, when somebody's in armour or somebody's got a sword, or if it's just somebody coming out with a hammer and you pick up something, then it's a different kettle of fish, and that's real martial art, where it's either the death or the surrender of another person. So, if you're one of these natural born fighters, please remember, temper your martial arts, temper your mind, and respect everybody else. If you are not a natural fighter, remember, train and train and train until the big thug comes at you, you know exactly how to take him down. So when you leave this DVD, go off into the world, train well, but realise you have to get harder, you have to get more efficient at combat, and you have to get more efficient at martial arts, or you're defeated. Last thing I'll leave you with, it's not that martial arts don't work, they do. It's can you make that martial art work for you?